So this is Client Attraction and Money Making Mastery, and this is how to get clients from public speaking. It's really how to get clients and grow your email list. And it's from public speaking in person or public speaking, teaching teleclasses or Zoom webinars or being a guest on podcasts. This is really any sort of speaking opportunities, including hosting your own live events. Now, there's a lot of benefits to public speaking as a marketing strategy. You can get in front of a lot of people, and you can get in front of a lot of people that are specifically your target market. You can get a lot of clients really fast. I mean, imagine if you could speak in front of an audience, let's say even just 50 people that you could speak in front of. And if you're just speaking in front of 50 people in person and you offer them a free coaching session with you, you're typically going to get between 80 to 100% of the people in the audience to want to have a free session with you. And if you have, let's say 80% of 50 people would be 40 people. If you had 40 free sessions that sell, if you know how to do free sessions that sell, then how many of those people are going to become clients? Well, I don't know the answer to that, right? There's so many things vary. Right? How high quality of an audience are they? Right? Did they pay to be at this thing where you're speaking? Did they travel from all over the world to be there? Like those things create our higher quality prospects for sure, right? Versus if it was just a free talk somewhere where people just came, locally. But free and locally could still be great prospects too. I used to do a lot of free local talks back in the day. And also then, so the quality of the audience is one factor. The quality of you as a speaker and presenter, right? Are you a great speaker, right? Or are you boring and, whatever? That's going to make a difference between how many people want to have a session with you, for sure, and how many people decide to actually hire you. Also, how good of a speaker are you? How good is the content that you teach? And what are you doing during your talk to make people want to work with you? And there are a few things that you can do during your talks to make people be like, oh my gosh, if only I was working with Betty to help me, find the man of my dreams. Or if only I was working with, Joan to help me be better at sales, or whatever the thing is, whatever kind of coaching you do, whatever kind of presentation you're giving, there's things you can do during your talk. First of all, like being good at speaking. Second of all, teaching great stuff. Third of all, building in enticements to make people want to work with you, which I'm going to talk to you about. We'll be talking about all of these things, actually. I'm going to talk about tips to help you be a better speaker. I'm going to be talking to you about how to create great presentations. I'll talk to you about how to get people wanting to work with you and how to make a great free session offer, which I've already taught earlier in the program, but we'll review that and give an example of specifically how to do it right during a talk, the logistics of it as well. And and then also how to get in front of a lot of people, how to be a speaker, how to get speaking gigs, how to create your own speaking gigs, how to get booked as a speaker. Those are all things that we're going to cover today. Sound good? So all those things are what we're going to cover, but the other benefits of speaking is, number one, you get in front of a lot of people. You can get a lot of clients really fast. Again, if you had a talk in front of just one group of 50 people in person and 40 out of those 50 people had a session with you, if 15 of them became clients, that might be all the clients you want if for one-on-one clients, right? Or maybe you get 30 of them to become clients. Maybe you put them into a group program. There's a lot of things that you can do to get your audience to want to work with you and get them to hire you. The other thing is you can grow your email list from public speaking. And not all public speaking is only going to be in front of 50 people. Your public speaking could be in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people. You can get on really popular podcasts and be a guest expert there and really rapidly grow your email list. It also sets you up as an expert, obviously. And the other thing is when you are doing public speaking, it creates a bond between you and your audience faster than almost anything else you can do. right? If you do Facebook ads, the quality of the leads, right? If you had 100 people who came onto your email list because they saw an ad you did on Facebook or on YouTube or something like that, and you had 100 people on your email list that saw you give a presentation, the quality of these leads who saw you give a presentation are going to be much greater than the quality of the people who just, clicked on something on Facebook and maybe, or on Google or wherever from an ad. Now, I'm not saying that don't get these kind of leads, right? You want all the leads you can get, obviously. It's great to get leads in lots of different ways, but the highest quality leads pretty much are going to be people who see you speak. So anytime you get a chance to speak, especially in person, is the greatest bond. But when people listen to you on a podcast or when you do a live teaching, I just did a live training recently, and is very interesting was we had this special offer that we did to our email list. We did this special offer for 72 hours, and then we shut it down. And then a couple days later, I did a live training with my email list that was actually not even related to that special offer. Completely different. But we opened the special offer back up again for only a little over 24 hours. And we actually got more people buying this the second time than we did the first time, and which pretty much never happens. It was open for a shorter amount of time, and but I think it was because of the bonding that happened between me and my audience when I did this other training, even though it was an unrelated training. Was it related? And it was not directly related, and I didn't do a webinar trying to specifically sell the program. But I think that audience bond is really powerful and something that I don't want you to underestimate. People seeing you speak live is the most bonding, but even over Zoom or and what people watching your videos can create some bonding too. But yeah, bonding with your audience is huge. And then you can learn more about your target market and their needs, their desires, and what their questions are, which you can use to improve your marketing and your marketing materials and your marketing strategies. Because when you talk to people live, you get to see what questions they have. You can even, if you're going to be speaking to an audience ahead of time, you could pre-ask questions to find out more about them. There's a lot we can do to really understand and do this like market research to be better at speaking the language of clients, which is the language of results, and being able to talk about what they care about. And the more we can refine and use their words and understand what their thinking is, the better. Oh, I muted myself. Good so far? That's the intro to what you're going to be learning here. Let's talk about how to be a great speaker. Some of you might be like, I don't need to learn that. And others might be like, oh my God, speaking is scary. There's the old, I don't know what research it was, but like that more people are afraid of speaking than dying. That like if people listed their biggest fears, public speaking is like number one. For me, thankfully, speaking is not scary. I remember taking speech class in school, and I think it was in college. I was giving a talk. I had to take speech class in high school, and it was okay. I didn't love it. I definitely was nervous. And then I took speech class in college, and a shift happened for me where instead of feeling like I was speaking, I was feeling like I was teaching. And for some reason, teaching to me never feels scary. So that might be a shift that helps. The other thing is after college, I went to Toastmasters, and I got lots of practice. So if you go to toastmasters.org, you can find, and I wonder if they're doing anything virtually right now too, but at toastmasters.org, you can go to local chapters. They have them all over the world. It's a nonprofit. It's a beautiful organization. It gives you lots of chances to practice your public speaking. And I was a member of Toastmasters for 6 years and got a lot of practice. And I think it's helped me a lot over the years to be a better speaker, better presenter, to be able to share ideas more succinctly. I see a question there. Somebody's asking me if I use notes when I speak. And I will share with you that sometimes I use no notes and I just go off, because I know something, sometimes I just know things like the back of my hand. So I don't use any notes sometimes. Sometimes I do this. I'll write my notes as a very short outline so this is my setup here, right? I got this for teaching, got this computer that I'm using for my camera. At some point, I have this other camera thing. Actually, I have had other different kinds of cameras I've tried, but I might try some other ones. But and then I'll use this dry erase to just write down my notes for my own session. Or in today's case, I'm actually using the notes from the first time I taught client attraction and money making mastery many years ago, and which are inside the members here for client attraction and money making mastery. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Oh, that's the wrong button. So here's my sneak peek is, look at that. So, and I could teach the whole thing with the PowerPoint showing. Whoops. But I don't want to. So, well, actually, let's try that again. Here we go. Okay, so here are secrets to giving a great presentation. Now, the benefit of me not showing this is then you don't see it all, you're listening to me. The benefit of showing this, you have something else to look at. If you are going to show something, it's good to have images and pictures mixed in there, so it's not all text. I'll do this slide with you where you're seeing the slide more than me, and then maybe we'll go back and forth. Okay, so number one secret to being a great presenter, be yourself. You don't need to be super polished. Look at me. I am not super polished. I'm just comfortable being myself, and I'm trying to, I want to get the ideas across the best I can. I don't worry about the ums and ahs. I and ah all the time. At Toastmasters, they do that. They'll aim to get you doing less ums and ahs. And I used to do a lot better with that, but it is what it is. Stay present with the audience. That's something that's really great. I love live audiences in person. That's my very favorite. My second favorite is Zoom webinar, where I get to see your chat because I feel very present to you. Like I can see, see what you're going on. It just makes me feel connected to you. So, like for me, shooting videos, something I've never really loved doing. And I've had to do a lot of personal work on that to get myself more comfortable. Yeah, I love the connection. So I'm just being myself. I want to stay present. You want to talk to them. You don't want to talk at them. You want to make eye contact. That's one of the reasons why, I'll usually just have a couple of bullets over there, or even just, going from memory for what I'm teaching. So I'm looking more in the camera and not, looking over here at the notes. All right, so stay present. If you're relaxed and comfortable and you know what you're teaching, you'll do great. Here's a hot audience. Here's a hot tip. There's a couple of hot tips. Number one is if you get the audience interacting with each other, people will think you're amazing. I used to run a networking group, a speaker group actually, where I would bring in guest speakers, a different guest speaker, twice a month, and people would come in and come to those sessions. And I remember we had this really polished, and very funny and entertaining speaker. And I had people rate his speech, his talk, on a scale of 0 to 10 on all these on different basically people that fill out a survey for after each speaker, and he got strong marks. But then we had somebody else who didn't teach great content, wasn't a polished speaker, but he had people interacting with each other a ton, and the audience rated that speaker as good, if not better, as the other speaker. And I was like, what? But it made me realize over and over, as I just saw all these after, like, I don't know, year, 2 years of doing this, lots, 2 guest speakers a month and getting all these assessments afterwards, just noticing what made the difference and what made audiences enjoy speakers, just get them interacting with each other a little bit or a lot. And that makes a big difference. And then, if you have fun, the more fun you're having, the more fun your audience will have. And then the last hot tip I have, this one's actually, I don't know, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna save this hot tip, even though it's here, using an assessment during your talk. I'm gonna talk about it later. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So what should you teach? Same thing, going back to the first session or second session of Client Attraction and Money Making Mastery, when we had you list out all the pains, problems, challenges, and fears that people have, and then their dreams, desires, their goals, their fantasies, all those things. When you made that big list of stuff and the ultimate outcome that people want, that's the kind of stuff you should teach about. Teach what people want to learn. And you can ask people ahead of time what they want to learn. You can do a survey. What's your biggest challenge with men and dating? What's your biggest challenge with getting thin and staying thin? What's your biggest challenge with closing more sales? What's your biggest challenge with acing an interview? Ask those questions, and when people tell you the answers, then you can use that in your marketing.